2020 has not started too well. Australia was engulfed in flames and a novel form of coronavirus is currently rampaging around the planet. But there are some other potential disasters in waiting that could shake human civilization to the core. So, without further ado, here are 10 catastrophic natural disasters that, according to scientific evidence, may occur at any minute and devastate life as we know it in 2020. Number 10. Earthquake Tsunami Split, Oregon. Through the joint efforts of more than 150 volunteer experts, the Oregon Seismic Safety Policy Advisory Commission predicts that an 8.0 to 9.0 magnitude earthquake and subsequent tsunami will occur off the coast of Oregon within the next 50 years. The big questions are, when will it exactly occur, and will Oregon be prepared? The possible source of this catastrophic earthquake tsunami split is the Cascadia subduction zone, a 1,287 kilometer crack in the Earth's crust, 97 kilometers offshore from Oregon. The Juan de Fuca and North American continental tectonic plates create this subduction zone, which is considered the quietest subduction zone in the world but is currently thought to be hiding one of the biggest seismic events of the century. This occurrence has been predicted since 2010, the Commission now states that it will inevitably occur. This predicted earthquake and tsunami will kill over 10,000 people, possibly splitting apart portions of the West Coast and costing the US $32 billion in damage. Number 9. Mount Fuji eruption, Japan. When the Tohoku earthquake shifted the landmass of Japan, 20 of the 110 active volcanoes in Japan showed increased seismic activity, leading experts to believe one may erupt any day. The Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, monitors seismic activity and active volcanoes in Japan. Out of Japan's 110 volcanoes, 47 are considered active, meaning they have erupted in the last 10,000 years or spew gases. Calculations show that Japan should have a major volcanic eruption every 38 years. Currently, 15 volcanic events happen annually. On the list of 47 active Japanese volcanoes is Mount Fuji, Japan's tallest volcano, standing at 3,773 meters, 12,380 feet. In July 2014, a French and Japanese scientific team released a report claiming that Mount Fuji is among the volcanoes most likely to erupt, causing concern for many Japanese citizens. Mount Fuji is located only 100 kilometers, 62 miles, from Tokyo. If Mount Fuji erupted, the team predicts that it would necessitate the emergency evacuation of 750,000 people from Tokyo. The city would most likely be covered in ash. Number 8. Largest tsunami ever, Caribbean. Dr. Simon Day of University College London and Dr. Stephen Ward from the University of California Santa Cruz predicts that the Cumbre Vieja volcano on the Canary Islands will erupt and create the largest tsunami in recorded history. In their jointly written and released paper on the topic in 2001, Dr. Day and Dr. Ward hypothesized that a rupture in the volcano's structure occurred during its last eruption, causing the left side to have become particularly unstable. If Cumbre Vieja were ever to erupt again, its left side would turn into a landslide that would cause the biggest tsunami in the history of man. They have deduced that the monstrous wave will travel at 800 km per hour, 500 miles per hour, be 100 meters, 330 feet, tall upon the first impact with land, and will reach Florida within 9 hours of being created. Dr. Day and Dr. Ward predict that tsunamis will hit faraway places such as England, Florida, and the Caribbean. Number 7. Megathrust earthquake, Chile. The Chilean earthquake of April 2014 opened fissures that could lead to a magnitude 8.5 or larger earthquake in Chile. On April 1, 2014, a magnitude 8.2 earthquake occurred 97 kilometers, 60 miles, off the northwest coast of Chile near the city of Iquique, causing landslides and a tsunami to hit the coast. This earthquake created the possibility for an even larger earthquake for Chile soon due to the location of the earthquake. The Iquique earthquake originated from a subduction zone where one tectonic plate, the Nazca Plate, is plunging underneath another, the South American Plate. This subduction zone lies within the Ring of Fire, an arc in the Pacific containing 75% of the world's active volcanoes, which causes much of the world's seismic activity. When a tectonic plate moves under another, the faults can come under severe amounts of stress, and any release of tension causes seismic activity, namely earthquakes. The April 2014 earthquake was a megathrust earthquake or a major earthquake caused by the release of tension from a subduction zone. It only relieved 33% of the tension on the fault, leaving the rest to be relieved soon. Number 6. The Helena Slump. On the south slope of Hawaii's Big Island lies the infamous Helena Slump, where now and then there is a landslide that creates horrid tsunamis. According to The Independent, there is evidence that a similar collapse at nearby Mauna Loa around 120,000 years ago generated a tsunami with a run-up height of over 400 meters. Even as recently as 1975, movement of the Helena Slump generated a smaller, yet destructive tsunami that reached California. Number 5. Asteroid hits Earth. The dinosaurs died, they are gone, and many scientists attribute this extinction to an asteroid striking the Earth. If one were to hit us today, it would have similarly devastating effects. According to How Stuff Works, in 2028, the asteroid 1997XF11 will come extremely close to Earth but will miss the planet. If something were to change and it did hit Earth, what you would have is a mile-wide asteroid striking the planet's surface at about 30,000 miles per hour. An asteroid that big traveling at that speed has the energy roughly equal to a 1 million megaton bomb. It's highly likely that an asteroid like this would wipe out most of the life on the planet. Number 4. The eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano. Yellowstone National Park quietly sits on top of a supervolcano that is 44 miles wide. Even scarier, it is still active and could blow at any time. Its last big eruption was 630,000 years ago, but as End Times author Brian Walsh wrote in an op-ed in the New York Times, an eruption of this supervolcano would be like nothing humanity has ever seen and be an ultra-catastrophe that could lead to global devastation, even human extinction. There will probably never be a year in which no one dies in an aviation accident, but there will never be a year in which 10% of the global population dies in a single plane crash. Yet that could happen with a supervolcano. Walsh wrote. As it is in America, they are the first to affect. Number 3. Lake Toba supervolcano is also a sleeping giant. Yellowstone is not the only sleeping giant volcano on the planet. Lake Toba in Indonesia also sits on top of an enormous supervolcano. It last erupted about 74 to 75,000 years ago and was so devastating that it is believed to have almost made humans extinct. While geologists believe Lake Toba is unlikely to blow in 2020, its magma chamber is far from dormant. Number 2. The Big One, California. The U.S. Geological Survey has increased the probability of the likelihood of a magnitude 8.0 or larger earthquake hitting California within the next few decades. The Big One refers to the earthquake that many Californians have been waiting for with bated breath for years. The USGS's Third Uniform California Rupture Forecast, UCERF3, predicts earthquake eruptions and states that a magnitude 8.0 earthquake or larger quake has a 7% chance of occurring in the next 30 years at present. The odds of a magnitude 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake hitting went up 30%. If it were to hit, it would most likely come from the breaking of the San Andreas Fault, spanning the distance in Southern California inland from Los Angeles, but there is some speculation as to which fault will be the origin point. Some reports specify that the Big One will originate from the Hayward Fault near the Bay Area and San Francisco. No matter where the earthquake comes from, it is predicted to devastate all of California and other parts of the West Coast. A realistic crisis scenario to be used for emergency planning was created by 300 scientists and details the earthquake's occurrence and damage through historical data-based computer projections. The computer predicts that the earthquake will produce shock waves that travel 11,600 km per hour, 7,200 miles per hour, causing severe damage to major freeways and buildings. Overall, the biggest concern for any major earthquake fires, due to the amount of dry brush that could turn any small blaze into a raging inferno. The White House granted $5 million to a team from Caltech, UC Berkeley, and the University of Washington, that is developing the earthquake early warning system to alert people 1 minute in advance of an earthquake hitting. The system is currently only able to release an alert 10 seconds before the beginning of an earthquake. Number 1. Major solar storm. The biggest natural disaster that could affect Earth soon does not even originate from our planet, it comes from the Sun. The Sun has an activity cycle, which means that it has either decreased or increased activity, such as solar flares and sunspots, depending on its time in a particular cycle. The most recent major burst of solar activity occurred in July 2012, when a coronal mass ejection, CME, passed through Earth's orbit and hit the STEREOA space station. CME is the solar ejection of a billion-ton cloud of magnetized plasma that harbors the unfortunate side effect of acting as an electromagnetic pulse on Earth's electronics, taking them out of working order. A solar storm usually contains a solar flare, high levels of UV radiation, energetic particles that destroy the crucial electronic components of satellites, and many CMEs. The 2012 solar flare hit the space station but was only a week away from hitting Earth instead. This lucky miss for Earth may not repeat itself soon, according to Pete Riley, a scientist at Predictive Science. After analyzing solar storm records from the past 50 years, his calculations concluded that there is a 12% chance of a major solar storm hitting Earth in the next 10 years. If this were to happen, it would potentially interfere with radio, GPS, and satellite communications, affecting the use of millions of electronics around the world. Power grids would also be affected due to power surges caused by the energetic particles, possibly causing major worldwide blackouts similar to the one that occurred in Quebec in 1989. The economic costs are estimated to be $1 to $2 trillion in the first year of impact, with full recovery taking 4 to 10 years according to the National Research Council. Even with all our technology and the inventions that make modern life so much easier than it once was, it takes just one big natural disaster to wipe all that away and remind us that, here on Earth, we're still at the mercy of nature. The nature will continue, it is our existence that is finite and you are given this gift of life and you make your way with it, but fate and natural disasters will continue on. If you have liked this video, like and comment below. For more interesting videos, make sure to subscribe.